Mary sat musing on the lamp flame at the table, waiting for Warren. When she heard his step, she ran on tiptoes down the darkened passage to meet him in the doorway with the news, and put him on his guard. Silas is back. She pushed him outward with her thoughts to the door, and shut it after her. Behind. She took the market things from Warren's arms and set them on the porch, then drew him down to sit beside her on the wooden steps.
When was I ever anything but kind to him? But I'll not have that fellow back. I told him so last hang, didn't I? And I left it then. I said, and that ended. What good is he? Who else will harbor him? At his age, what for the little he can do? What help is there no depending on him? Off he goes, and always when I need him most. He thinks he ought to earn a little pay, enough to last to buy tobacco with, so he won't have to be begging and beholden. All right, I say, I can afford to pay any fixed wages, although I wish I couldn't. Someone else can. There's someone else who will have to. I shouldn't mind his bettering himself, if that were what it was. You can be certain, when he begins like that, there's something at him, trying to coax him off with pocket money. In hanging time, when any help is scarce, and when he comes back to us, I'm done.
Not so lad, he'll hear you.
I want him to. He'll have to sooner or later.
He's worn out. He's asleep beside the stove. When I come up from Rose, I found him there. Huddled against the barn door, fast asleep. A miserable sight, and frightening too. You needn't smile. I didn't recognize him. I wasn't looking for him, and he's changed. Wait till you see.
Where did you say he'd been?
He didn't say. I dragged him to the house and gave him tea and tried to make him smoke. I tried to make him talk about his travels. Nothing would do. He just kept nodding off.
What did he say? Did he say anything?
But little.
Anything? Mary, confess. He said he'd come to the ditch the meadow for me.
Warren!
But didn't he? I just want to know.
Of course he did. What would you have him say? Surely you wouldn't grudge the poor old man some humble way to save his self-respect. He added, if you really care to know, he meant to clear the upper pasture too. That sounds like something you have heard before. Warren, I wish you could have heard the way he jumbled everything. I stopped to look 2 or 3 times. He made me feel so queer to see if he was talking in his sleep. He ran on Harold Wilson. Remember the boy you had in Hay 4 years since? He's finished school and teaching in his college. Silas declares you'll have to get him back. He says they too will make a team to work. Between them, they will lay this farm as smooth. The way he mixed with that in with other things. He thinks young Wilson is a likely lad, though daft on education. You know how they fought all through July under the blazing sun. Silas up on the cart to build the load, Harold along beside to pitch it on.
Yes, I took care to keep well out of earshot.
Well, those days trouble Silas like a dream. You wouldn't think they would. How such things linger. Harold's young college boy's assurance picked him. After so many years, he still keeps finding good arguments he sees he might have used. I sympathize. I know just how it feels to think of the right thing to say too late. Harold's associated in his mind with Latin. He studied Latin, like a violin, because he liked it, that an argument. He said he couldn't make the boy believe he could find water with a hazel palm, which showed how much good school had ever done him. He wanted to go over that, but most of all, he thinks if he could have another chance to teach him how to build a load of hay.
I know that Silas is one accomplishment. He bundles every forkful in its place, and tags and numbers it for future reference, so he can find it easily, dislodge it. In the unloading, Silas does that well. He takes it out and bunches it like big birds' nests. You never see him standing on the hay. He's trying to lift, straining to lift himself. He thinks if he could teach him that, he'd be some good to some people in the world. He hates to see a boy full of the books. Poor Silas, so concentrated on other folk, and nothing to look forward but with pride. Nothing to look forward to with pride. So that anyone would be different.
Part of a moon was falling down the west, dragging the whole sky with it into the hills. Its light poured softly in her lamp. She saw it and spread her apron to it. She put out her hands among the harp-like morning glory strings. hot with the dew from garden bed, as if she played unheard some tenderness that wrought on and beside her in the night.
Warren, he has come home to die. You needn't be afraid he'll leave you this time.
Home.
Yes, what else but home? It all depends on what you mean by home.
Of course he's nothing to us than the hound that came to us a stranger us out of the woods, worn and up the trail.
Home is the place where, when you have to go there, they have to take you in.
I should have called it something, so somehow he hadn't deserved it.
It all depends on what something you somehow haven't to deserve. When Warren learned out and took a step or two, picked up a little stick and brought it back, and broke it on his hand and tossed it high.
Silas had better claim on this, you think, than on his brother. 13 little miles as the road would bring him to this door. Silas had walked that far, no doubt, by today. Why doesn't he go there? His brother's rich, and somebody, director in the bank.
He never told us that.
We know it, though.
I think his brother ought to help, of course. I'll see to it that if there is a need, he ought of right to take him in, and might be willing to. He may be better than appearances. But have some pity on Silas. Do you think if he had any pride in claiming kin, or anything he looked for in his brother, he'd keep so still about him all this time?
I wonder what's between them.
I can tell you. Silas is what he is. We wouldn't mind him, but just the kind of kinsfolk can't abide. He never did a thing so very bad. He don't know why he isn't quite as good as anybody. Worthless though he is, he won't be made ashamed to please his brother.
I can't think Si ever hurt anyone.
No, but he hurt my heart the way he lay and rolled his old head on the sharp-edged chair back. He wouldn't let me put him on the lounge. You must go in and see what you can do. I made the bed for him there tonight. You'll be surprised at him, how much he's broken. His working days are done, I'm sure of it.
I'd not be in a hurry to say that.
I haven't been. Go, look, see for yourself. But Warren, please remember how it is. He's come to help you ditch the meadow. He has a plan. You mustn't laugh at him. He may not speak of it, and then he may. I'll sit and see if that small sailing cloud will hit or miss the moon.
It hit the moon. Then there were three there making a dim row. The moon, the little silver clouds, and she. Warren returned too soon, it seemed to her. Slipped to her side, caught up her hand, and waited.
Warren?
Dead.